Welcome to the webinar. In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact steps you'll need to take your life goals, whether that be success in business, weight loss, or personal life, to the next level in the next 20 weeks. I'm going to teach you the exact 9 specific mental strategies used by the elite to overcome fear of failure, lack of confidence, and inconsistent motivation to achieve incredible success and to hit any goal that's important to you, no matter how big or small. If you've been working on a goal for 6 months or more without success, if you feel like you're just spinning your wheels and stuck in a failure loop on repeat, if you feel like you just keep hitting barriers and can't seem to overcome them, you need to watch this. I worked with a mentor at one point that taught me these same principles I'm about to show you. When I first started applying these, I doubled my income in 3 months. Since then, I've helped businesses work through over $1.6 billion worth of business problems. I've mentored countless other business owners to use the same principles I'm about to teach you to hit their own business and personal goals in 20 weeks or less. And now I'm opening up my secret playbook to the public to teach you the same strategies. Do any of these sound like you? Do you see other people in business or in their personal lives making the kind of income that you want and just have no idea how they're doing it? Are you working way too hard in your business, too many hours, burning out? Do you feel overwhelmed by all the options that are out there? Do you feel like you've tried everything you can think of to accomplish your goal, and still, after hours of work and time and energy, you still aren't getting any closer to getting what you want? Do you feel like you're starting to give up on ever taking your business success or personal goals up to the next level? If any of this stuff sounds like you, you've come to the right place. I'm going to teach you how to cut out the fluff, how to identify and eliminate all of the unnecessary extras that are just sapping up your time and energy and preventing you from hitting your goal, whatever it is. I will teach you the exact 9 changes you need to make in order to become extremely efficient and on the fast track of hitting your goal within the next 20 weeks. Here are some common goals of people I work with. In 20 weeks, I want to double my income, sign on 10 more high-paying clients, lose 50 pounds, train for a marathon, turn my side hustle into a highly profitable business. Do any of these resonate with you? What big goal do you want to accomplish in the next 20 weeks? Financial freedom, weight loss, transformation? Before we jump in, I want you to put everything away except for one piece of paper and a pen. This means no distractions. That's important for you. All you need is a piece of blank paper and a pen. On that piece of paper, at the top, write out your goal, that thing that you really want. What do you want to accomplish in the next 20 weeks? What is that one big thing that if you accomplished it would make your life more fulfilling, more free, and more complete? What is the one goal that you have been obsessing over but unable to accomplish? Make it as specific as possible and really think about it. Do you want to lose 50 pounds? Do you want to double your income? Do you want to hire a sales all-star team with 5 sales reps? Do you want your side hustle to bring you an extra $5,000 a month? Now pull out a calendar. This can be your planner, your iMac calendar, your Gmail calendar, doesn't matter. Count 20 weeks from now and put an X on that date. This is the date by which you can have that goal completed if you follow the exact 9 principles I'm about to show you. In the next 45 minutes, I will teach you how to balance the big 9, the 9 things you must fix in order to be successful in your goals. These are the only 9 things you need to focus on. A successful individual must have all 9. My experience has proven that. You can't just have 3 or 5, or you'll sabotage your results or fail to get what you want. The good news is that 1 is not your fault. This is the brain's default. And 2, your brain is highly malleable. Just like any other muscle, it can be reshaped within a few key mental exercises. By implementing these 9 key strategies I'm about to teach you, you can and will hijack your brain's default. Learn the exact roadmap to reach your 20-week goal and overcome every barrier and ceiling that has held you back up until this point. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this webinar, it's this. The most successful people in life don't depend on others or external circumstances, such as luck. They have a system of mental practices that enable them to go after and accomplish any goal, regardless of the obstacles that come in front of them. You have this same capacity inside you. You always have. You just haven't had anyone teach you how to train your brain and make these mental strategies a daily habit. I'm going to walk you through that training now. Just before we start, here's a brief introduction of who I am and why I can help you. I'm Jonathan Yowsey. I own a successful law firm. I am also the owner and CEO of CircuitComplete, my own mentoring program where I have helped other individuals overcome obstacles, implement the strategies that I'm about to teach you, and hit their big goals in 20 weeks or less. Like I mentioned earlier, a long time ago, I hired a business mentor that challenged me to rearrange my mentality and daily habits. I'll admit that I was really skeptical at first, but I put him to the test, and amazingly, I had doubled my income in 3 months. Since then, I've grown my law firm and mentoring business, and I've helped business owners solve over $1.6 billion of business problems. I don't say this to brag, I just say this to prove to you that these strategies I'm about to teach you aren't rocket science, and they really work. These are 9 straightforward mental strategies used by countless successful elites all over the world that, when followed, enable you to achieve your goal in 20 weeks or less. You can't be successful without making these 9 mental strategies a habit, and in the next 40 minutes or so, I'll teach you exactly how to do just that. Okay, let's jump right in. The first step is establishing the belief. And when we talk about that, we're talking about your own personal value, believing that you're good, believing that you know what you're doing, and that you can do big things. That requires you to tune in your personal value. What is personal value, you might ask? Personal value is what you think of yourself. Do you look at yourself, generally see yourself as a person of value, as a person who can succeed at things? You must have a strong sense of personal value to achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve in the next 20 weeks. And the good news is you can change that. The question comes up, what happens if you don't have a good personal value? What happens if you look at yourself and you see somebody who is not successful? You can change it. That's the good news. That's actually a belief you can change about yourself. And we're going to go into that. Without a strong sense of personal value, you're going to shrink back at the first challenge when you are going after your goals. You're going to pull back because you're not going to feel like you can meet those challenges. It's going to constantly get in your way. So that's the first thing I'm going to encourage you to work on, because that is the absolute key. You have to believe that you are great to do great things. So many people struggle with personal value because of the way we were raised, because of culture, because of society in general. We have this belief that in order to do great things, we have to be perfect. You think about the people on TV that you see, movie stars, there's not one of them that has a flaw at all. They are all just so perfect. And we come up with this really limiting belief about ourselves that we have to be perfect to go and do great things. I encourage people to tell themselves that they are good, to work on that belief constantly. And only you know how to best do this for yourself. But let me tell you a few examples that I think can really help you with that. When you look at something great that you're trying to accomplish, ask yourself, what would my life look like if I succeeded at this? And really think about that. Think about what it would mean to you. Think about how you would change the way you thought about yourself after that success. Really think about that. Go to that mentally. You can spend up to 30 minutes in reflection today. Begin with a 5-minute wind down to kind of get yourself in the moment. Inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. This is important. When you feel the superficialities melt away and you can really focus, put pen to paper and write. Write for 20 minutes. Do not lift your pen from the paper. Write whatever comes to your mind about how you can succeed at this goal that you're working for, working on, and working with. Spend the last 5 minutes reading and commenting on what you wrote. It's a simple exercise, but doing those two things together, I promise you, will make a world of difference in establishing the belief that you can do whatever you set your mind to. The next thing you need to do is to get uncomfortable. One of the biggest mistakes business owners and individuals make is to be risk averse and staying safely in their comfort zone. Growth always takes place outside the comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable. If you want to get new results, you're going to have to do new things. It is so incredibly important for you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, there's good discomfort and bad discomfort. The bad discomfort we all know about. It signals to our brain, to our body, that something dangerous might be happening. So when you smell smoke in a building, there's not supposed to be smoke inside a building. That's a good time to be really uncomfortable and get yourself out of there. But the trick is sometimes the good discomfort, the discomfort that comes from, say, lifting weights to get in shape, and the discomfort that comes from struggling to learn a new skill, our brain can't always distinguish between the good discomfort and the bad discomfort. And it thinks that its job is just to keep us away from things that are uncomfortable. Take some time and look at your goal and distinguish the parts that are good discomfort from the parts that are bad discomfort. If it's good to be uncomfortable, if it's getting you there, let's go do it, even though it's uncomfortable. Today, dare yourself to try something new that is outside of your comfort zone. Don't be scared about that. I want you to truly dare yourself to do something that makes your heart pound, but of course is perfectly legal, safe, and ethical. After you do that, I want you to say out loud, I will dare myself to step outside my comfort zone every day. I will greet change with an open mind, and I will be okay with my discomfort as long as it's good discomfort. Do you need a daily reminder? Write it out on a sticky note. Put it somewhere prominent. Then go out and really follow through. Next, you got to expect detours. Things are going to happen. Roadblocks are going to come up. And the difference between successful people and people who are frustrated by not reaching their goals is successful people don't allow themselves to get stopped. If you come up to something that looks like a stop sign, remember what stop signs are for. They are there to stop you just momentarily, and then you're supposed to go. You're supposed to continue on your journey, not to quit. You need to be flexible and comfortable with detours when they come. Quitting is really not an option if you really want the goal. So the only way to be successful is how to learn to deal with detours and distractions, because they're going to come up. When you feel discouraged, let that fuel you in your desire for your future and your desire to go get what you really want. These are good times to think about how important your goal is and why you're going after them. You need to allow yourself to have days that are completely distracted, where you feel like you're just completely about the detours and the bumps in the road. Life is, after all, about the journey, is it not? One of the things I find that successful people are able to do is they're able to quiet that voice inside the mind that says, I'm being stopped. Something is wrong. We can obsess on that thought to where it can completely distract us from being creative in solving our problems. If you need to just have a detour day, take it, and don't let a bunch of negative energy pile up about that. One of the exercises I want you to look at is establishing your why. When I say that, I mean find out why you are working towards this goal. Really connect to that. Why are you motivated? Why do you feel uncomfortable about going forward? What does it mean to you to get this done? Introspection, or looking inside yourself, is key to changing the way you approach life. The next time you find yourself getting bogged down in expectations or frustrated over the little things that get in the way, the detours and other problems, spend some time in reflection, really thinking about what you want to do. Think about why these things may be getting in your path. Identify why you feel frustrated. Finding the answers to these will open your eyes to the root of the issue and allow you to be in the process of switching your focus. Sometimes You just need to go around an obstacle. If you can't go around it, go over it. If you can't get around it or over it, go under it. Next, be like the sun. I love the sun because it's an everyday reminder of something that is extremely powerful and constant in our lives. Life's full of ups and downs, hills and mountains. The sun doesn't care. It just goes up and goes down as if nothing ever changed. Even above the clouds on the rainiest day, the sun is still shining. I like the non-judgmental nature of the sun. It just shows up every single day and does its job for everyone, regardless of circumstances. If you take yourself seriously, you will need to show up every day and never give up your hope and drive. So for your 20-week goal, it's important that you set a morning routine for yourself. Wake up 15 to 30 minutes before you go about your normal day to allow time for relaxation and focus. Allow yourself to start the day slowly but intentionally. Do something that awakens your brain and your soul. Actually plan out your routine. Set it on a timetable. We have examples on our blog of how to do that. But when you make your goal the first thing that you think about every day, you're training your mind to put the highest emphasis on achieving what you want in 20 weeks. The next step is to fail. That's right, you heard me. I'm encouraging you to fail. I'm encouraging you to run headlong into failure. Successful people fail frequently and they fail fast. Now stop for a second. I know that many of you are saying, what on earth is he talking about? I don't want to fail. I want to succeed. Failure is the absolute opposite of success. That's one of the greatest myths and lies, frankly, that stops people from going after their dreams. They get so scared of failure, they're not willing to try to succeed. And I'm going to encourage you to go right after your goal, even though you don't know how to do it. If you look at a toddler, when they first start to walk, how many times do they fall down? Over and over and over again. They fall down, kerplop, and they get up and go again. Successful people aren't personalizing failure. They just learn from it. I can stress that again. Successful people aren't personalizing failure. They just learn from it. So on your path to getting your goal in 20 weeks, you're going to fail. You're going to have days where you feel like you've just completely gone off script. You are way off course. You're not succeeding at all. And when you have that, I want you just to look at it and think, okay, so I feel like I'm failing today. Be there. Fail. Fail and feel that feeling of failure to where you're not afraid of it anymore. When you feel failure and you realize it's not killing you, then you give yourself permission to go out and succeed. As you contemplate your goal, I'm going to encourage you on your paper here to make a note of the areas you think you might fail in. Go ahead and take a moment to write those down. Where are you scared that you're going to fail? Now let me ask you this. Are any of those failures permanent? If they're not permanent failures, you can afford to make those mistakes. You can afford to risk, to try, to go out and succeed. I think this exercise helps me. When I do it, it helps me see that I can afford to try. I don't need to be afraid of failing. Successful people are more motivated by their desire to win and succeed than they are stopped by their fear of failure and the pain associated with that. So if you need to desensitize the fear of failure, go ahead and write it out and find out, will it actually hurt me if I fail? Is it permanent, or can I afford to try and practice? Just like the toddler learning to walk. Next, trust your intuition. Oh, this is so important. Do you realize how smart you are? How wise you are? If you have a gut feeling, that's your intuition telling you something. You should trust it. It's important. we are made up of much more than just our conscious thoughts, of the things we see, hear, smell, touch. Those senses are important to our conscious mind, but there's much more going on. Our subconscious mind is processing thousands of thoughts every day that we don't even think about consciously. And when your mind and your heart tell you something, that's important to listen to that. People who won't trust their intuition don't find the same level of success as those who do. You need to learn to trust yourself and believe that you can know the right way to go. Here's an example of an exercise I use with people to help them learn to trust their intuition and to let it take them to great places. This is particularly important as you're thinking about your 20-week goal. Think of a time that you made a false appraisal, meaning you looked at something and you just read it wrong. Was it when you turned down a job offer? Was it when you ended a relationship before it truly began? Was it when you let someone treat you badly for too long? Once you have that identified in your mind, I want you to spend a second here and think about it, visualizing that circumstance. Was your gut trying to talk to you? Did you have a feeling about that? I'm betting if you look back, there was something inside you that was telling you to go a different direction. My experience is people don't trust those feelings. They don't trust their intuition. And they only go with what they can see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and sense with their senses. Sometimes your mind and your heart are trying to tell you something. And I encourage you to follow that, because successful people pick up on those things from their intuition that help them be successful. Next, you need to turn hope into action. It's so important that we learn to see things through a positive, happy, and optimistic viewpoint. When we maintain hope, even when things are outside of our control or may not be going as well as we wished, we're sending a message out to everyone around us, including ourselves, that we are focused on success. When we maintain hope, even when things are not going perfectly, we're sending a message to ourselves and everyone around us that we are focused on and committed to success. When you have hope, turning it into a plan of action can be so empowering and can give you a lot of positive energy. When you have hope that you can get your goal within 20 weeks, you begin to take action. What are a few things that you could put down on your paper right now that you could do today towards your goal? What are the baby steps that you could take today that would move you just a little bit closer? I encourage you to do those things today so you can feel that you are doing something about your goal today. And just as you started out your day by thinking about positive areas of success with relation to your goal, I'm going to encourage you to think about that as you go to bed. Make that the first thing you think about and the last thing you think about. When you drift off to sleep thinking about how good it's going to feel to succeed, that will impact the way your mind goes to work on finding solutions for you about that goal. The next step, avoid blame. People love to blame because it places responsibility for their failures on other people. But if you're going to give responsibility of your failures to other people, you're going to also give credit for your successes to other people. I encourage you to own your own results. The bad news is that people who blame cannot be successful. I always like to remember blame as be lame. Because when we blame, we are really admitting that we're powerless. People who are focused on blame cannot be successful because they're focused on other people. The second you take your power back and take responsibility for your own results, you can focus on getting what you want. There's a healthier way to manage frustration. Look inside. Find out why you're frustrated. Find out why you don't feel competent or powerful. Find out what skills you need, what resources you need to move forward, and then go get those things. Once you have those figured out, you can create an action plan to move forward with your goal. Here's an exercise that can help you move forward. On your paper, write down anyone you feel is holding you back from achieving your goal. Is there a way you can move powerfully forward without that person? That might be an indicator that you are blaming someone else. I'm going to encourage you to take your power back and make choices for yourself. Next step, keep your head up and your feet down. This is one of the most important pieces of information that I'm going to give you today. Life is cyclical, just like nature. Just like the sun comes up and goes down, no matter what you do, things will oscillate between a state of order and a state of chaos. And we're constantly bringing them back to order again. Constantly cleaning up our house when we just cleaned it up yesterday, it seems. Our goals are the same way. We're going to put a bunch of order into our goals, and you can't get frustrated when things get messy again the next day. There's going to be a process of getting back up, cleaning back up, and going again. I want you to commit to that process of keeping your head up and your feet down, so to speak, about your goals. If you're going to commit to being a person of order and live in a state of order, you have to commit to that cyclical process of taking things that have fallen down and bringing them back up without succumbing to the urge to place blame, lose hope, or give up on the process. I like to go back to the example of the toddler who's learning how to walk. She's learning a new skill. Periodically, us human beings who like to be upright and have our head up and our feet down on the ground, she will experience that uncomfortable sensation of falling flat on her face, of failing for just a moment to do what she had hoped to do, which is to learn how to walk. It's important not to stay on the ground, but to get up when you fall. This is true of our goals as well. When you measure your goal and you feel like you're not succeeding, it's important to get up and go again. So rinse, lather, repeat. This is the part where we summarize what you've learned today. First thing you need to do is you have to establish your personal value. You've got to know that you're good, that you can succeed. If you don't believe that, you're not going to try. If you do believe that you are good and that you have personal value, you're going to go out and you're going to push forward towards your goal powerfully. Second, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Go out and try new things. Find the difference between risk and discomfort that you can tolerate and those discomforts that you cannot tolerate. Spend a lot of time getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, meaning stretching, growing, pushing yourself to new frontiers. Number 3, dealing with detours or staying inside the lines. When you come to an obstacle that throws you off your game, learn how to get around it, over it, under it, or through it. There's always a way to find your way through. Number 4, be like the sun, meaning be regular. Be like the sun. Without fail, the sun will rise and fall every day, just the same as you, getting up and working on this goal. Keep at it. In 20 weeks, you can succeed if you're regularly putting effort at this. Number 5, get rid of the fear of failure. Learn to fail quickly and learn from it. Run right into failure. You're going to need to do a lot of failing to be successful in 20 weeks. Learn that it won't hurt you, and it's going to be part of your journey towards your goal. 6, learn to trust your intuition. Learn to believe that you are inspired, you are wise, and that you can get where you need to go by following your senses. Number 7, turn hope into action. Learn to feel good and then to go do good. Number 8, avoid blame and take back your personal power. Going after your goal powerfully without depending on or blaming other people will take you where you need to go. Number 9, keep your head up and your feet down, and always repeat as necessary. When life knocks you down or makes you feel like there's no way you can succeed, get up and go again. If you have gotten nothing else out of this webinar, I hope that you will come to see that you are good, that you can have the things that you want. You can powerfully go after your goals. Right now you have a choice. You can powerfully go after that goal, and you can get it within 20 weeks. You can choose to keep on struggling and not get your goal. Either one of those options are right in front of you. You can choose to keep doing the same thing over and over that's always landed you in the same place as before. You can choose to keep hitting barriers and ceilings while staying safely in your comfort zone, frustrated and overwhelmed, and far away from the goals and freedom of health and happiness that you want. You can choose to keep making less than your worth and staying stuck in the same situation without any noticeable progress. But why do that when I've just proven to you that you have everything that you need to hit your goals and be successful in the next 20 weeks? Remember that X that you put down on your calendar in the beginning? That could be the date your goal becomes a reality. I know you can do it. You could be just 20 weeks away from everything that you've wanted surrounding that goal. All it takes is following the steps I've laid out for you in this training, the same steps that I've helped countless other individuals work through to hit amazing goals in 20 weeks or less. You've watched this entire webinar for a reason. You could have checked out earlier. You've been struggling and you are looking for answers from someone who has been where you've been and has found a way to overcome the barriers you face. In my 20-week mentoring program, I have helped countless individuals just like you to not only make these mental strategies a habit, but to draw out a specific, customized roadmap to make their biggest goals a reality. And you know what? It works every time. From the minute someone signs up with me, they are only 20 weeks away from hitting their goal. Just imagine where you could be in 20 weeks. I can make that promise because I know what the human mind is capable of. And I know that you can get your goal. My program is only for those who are serious about achieving their goals. If your goal isn't something that's so big and so exciting that you think about it first thing when you wake up, and right before you go to bed you think about it again, then this program really isn't for you. If you're not fully there yet, that's okay. We all evolve at our own pace. If this is you, you can download my free ebook, You Are Good, by clicking on the link below. This ebook will give you a more in-depth look at the 9 steps we went over today in this webinar. However, if you have a goal that you obsess about, that you know if you could just accomplish your goal, your life would be so much significantly better, happier, more fulfilling, more free, then my 20-week mentoring program is for you, and I want to talk to you. In my 20-week program, we will fully customize a plan that works specifically for you, your needs, and your goal. You'll meet with me 10 times over a 20-week period to hold you accountable and to mentor you through the process that you select. I'll give you the tools and skills you need to connect to your goal, to powerfully go after the things you want. Not only just this one goal in these 20 weeks, but to continue on doing that for the rest of your life, using the same systems. This is more than just a 20-week program. This is a set of skills that you will use again and again and again in your life to get the goals that matter most to you. If you think you would be interested in moving forward with the mentoring program with me to work powerfully on a goal you want to achieve in the next 20 weeks, give me a call at 801-602-9101. That's my personal cell phone. That's how strongly I feel about this. I want to talk with you about your goals, your dreams, and where you want to go. Feel free to also send me a text at that number, and I will reply as soon as I can. You can also reach me via email on the link below. I'd love to talk to you about your goal. Thank you for listening to this webinar and being with me for this time. I hope you found some value that you can take into your personal life and direct at your goals. Please download the ebook, and I look forward to talking with you soon.